We are talking Bridgerton. It's the new drama that's reached the top spot on Netflix in 76 countries since its launch on Christmas Day, watched by millions. It follows upper-class families looking for love in Regency London. It's fabulous, it's escapism, it's wonderful. I've been binging. Jonathan Bailey, who plays Anthony Bridgerton, joins me now. It is so good to see you. Congratulations. This has been a huge global hit, and it's just come at the right time for us all to escape into this.
I think so. I think we've all had the sort of Christmas romance that we all deserve after 2020, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, absolutely. And what a cracking cast. I mean, when your narrator is Julie Andrews, you know that this is going to be very special, don't you?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a shock for us all when we found out that Julie was going to be lending her voice to Whistledown. But yeah, I mean, I haven't met Julie Andrews yet, but only in my dreams since I was about 6. So yeah, it's definitely a bucket list tick off.
It's terrific. And the thing about it is as well, it's a really diverse cast. And sometimes, you know, when I watched maybe like the first 5-10 minutes, you go, oh, okay, and then you just get absolutely engrossed in the characters, and it absolutely does not matter one little bit, nor should it.
Well, I think also the sense of the period genre and romance is that it's so elevated. This is a fantasy, it's a reimagined history. It puts people of colour back into the history that maybe perhaps has always been whitewashed. And so Shonda Rhimes, who is the executive producer, she's known for her inclusivity and diversity. So as an actor, of course, you want to work with people who are going to make people feel seen and to hold a mirror up to the society that we live in today.
Well, exactly. And what I thought and what came across loud and clear, the rules back then were crazy. The amount of power that your character has got, not just over his sisters, but over his mother as well. Like, it's kind of like what he says goes. And it is, you know, obviously now we're still talking about equality and there's still a long way to go. But when you look what those poor women had to go through, these bright, intelligent women, astonishing.
I know, it's astonishing. And I think when you go back and look at society through a 19th century sort of lens, you can see exactly what you're saying, how far we have come in some ways and how far we haven't. But the patriarchal system where the male lineage was dominating is something that we're still unpicking now. And, you know, I was really excited to show in Anthony, you know, just how toxic that was and that setup and the strict rule of male lineage is. I think he means well, but, you know, he really seems to create a lot of issues for himself and in turn everyone in his family.
I know.
He's not very happy.
No, that's the thing. He's really not, and I guess a product of his time. Quite bizarre. Phoebe Dynevor is beautiful. She's absolutely luminous. And of course, she's Sally from Corrie, who we know really well on this show. That's her daughter. She must be bursting with pride because she does. She looks astonishing, but much more importantly, it's a lovely performance, a really beautiful performance.
But you know what? I've never worked with someone. She led that show, and to see, she was delicate. She was generous. Yeah, she's stunning throughout, and she's just, you know, one of the best things to come out of that job is that she's a brilliant friend, and not that she needs protecting at all, but I do feel very protective of her, and she's brilliant, and you know, the world is only yet to see what she can do.
Yeah, for all of you, that's the thing. I mean, you couldn't get a better showcase as well, as we said. You know, this is a massive global hit. Can we talk briefly about bottoms? Now, we showed this photograph. Which, now that's got to be one of the best jobs in the world. That's a wee lady who is sort of, I think they call it fluffing. Is that what they do?
Well, I don't know what they call it, Lorraine. I think it's called ice breaking, isn't it? That was my first scene, and that was a lovely time. I think, funnily enough, you blurred out a bit of the bum, which makes it look like she's sort of painted over it. But you know, you get your britches, and it was an incredibly safe set. We have something called an intimacy coordinator, which meant that doing any sex scenes felt really empowered, and the women felt really safe as a man, which is really important. And so in turn, you feel safe. But you know, there is a moment where they go, "Anne, can we lower the britches?" And when I lowered the britches for the first time, they went, "Can we call in makeup?" And that's when you slightly go. But luckily, it was just to shine the botty.
Well, of course it was, because it's a perfect bottom. We've all seen it, and it's a peach-like thing of beauty. But you're right, that's what I really like about this as well, because, you know, sometimes you see the women, don't you? You know, there's boobs and there's bums and all of that. But equally with this, it's, again, you know, it's very inclusive and everybody feels like you said, everybody feels safe, and that's really important.
Yeah, and I think it's also really important to see you know, the sexuality through a female gaze, which I know is something that's really important, and you know, through the eyes of Daphne. So yeah, we've had 50 years of cinema where we always see a lady top being slinked off her shoulders as the man lies back in bed. So you know, to be a part of something which you know, reestablishes a balance in how we show our sexuality and how men and women are exploited or not on screen is also something that I'm incredibly proud of as well.
No, for sure. And also, I love the fact that you are taller in this, and the sideburns, absolutely real. Nobody had to stick them on.
No, yeah, they were like my little bonsai trees. I really tended to them. But there was two big life goals. One was to be 6'1", which I made with the quiff and the boots, and the other was just to grow facial hair, which I think as a man is a general anxiety for a lot of people. So yeah, so thrilled. Although they were quite hard to keep straight, and if I had a few days off, I'd come back and we'd have to etch them back in. So if you can spot, sometimes they're a little bit wonky, but I felt like that was a character choice.
Fair enough, keep a look out for that. I loved as well the way that they used modern music. You know, modern music was brought in, but it didn't jar because it was done in the style of the time. Yeah,
well, it's those little things that make it hopefully really relevant and exciting and thrilling and sexy, and it were brilliant choices creatively across the board. And as we were doing it, although we didn't hear the music there, they would play, you know, Beyonce, or they'd play Ed Sheeran was playing, and so even it sort of informed the way we sort of strutted around. Yeah, sort of described it like I felt like a BG.
So look, are there going to be more? Do you think? Do you think there might be? Maybe, you can't say, but I'm looking at your wee face and I think maybe perhaps, which would be good. Do you know what? It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I'm sort of, it's that one where you go, I'll just watch another one, and then I'll go and do whatever I've got to do, and then I'll just watch another one. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to us. It's great to see you, Jonathan. Cheers.
Thank you.